There you go. Did you hear that, Chava? Did you like that?
I love it.
Hey, do we need to add subtitles for you or not? Captions, or are you okay?
Anything you like it.
Well, as many of you know, Texas gets pretty hot in June, and that's the time of year when a lot of the trainers head up to cooler climates. They find friends, clients, anybody that has cattle in arenas, and they evacuate Texas basically and get out of the heat for a couple of weeks. They go work colts and prepare for the fall futurities. We caught up with Salvador Cabral, Russ Westfall, and Brandon Westfall, who are up in Crested Butte, Colorado right now, working 3-year-olds, and they brought some show horses too, but they talk about their experience up there and how important this is for those colts and what it does to help mature these colts and get ready for the fall futurities. We hope you enjoy this episode. I'm jealous you guys are up there in the cooler weather. It's so hot down here. It's like 1,000,000 degrees down here in Texas.
Yeah, no. We're just here having a hard time, with this weather.
It looks like it. It looks like it. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. When you called me the other day and told me you're up there in Crested Butte and Russ was coming up, I thought, man, that'd be a good little story right there. So I thought it'd be a perfect episode for our Performance Horse Central show. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet. Well, and just for everybody else that doesn't know these celebrities right here, we got Chava on the right, we got Brandon Westfall in the middle, and we got Mr. Russ Westfall on the left there, on our left. So so tell us a little bit of where are you guys at right now?
We are in Crested Butte, Colorado.
Nice.
At Bill and Catherine Lacey's place.
Beautiful. And I've seen some pictures and videos and Snapchats last few years, guys going up there. Tell us a little bit about the facility up there and what the deal is, why you guys go up there.
Go ahead, John.
Well, first of all, just the weather, Texas, very hot, and here I got introduced here to this place 2001 for Mr. Tom Lines. And I'll never forget, this is the right place to come to work some horses and stuff. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tom Lyons, he's a pretty good connection to have. His network is pretty big over the years.
Yes, sir. He the one introduced myself here to this place,
Yeah. So Russ and Brandon, how long have you guys been coming up there? Is this your first year? Or have you been up there before?
No, we've been coming up, I don't know, 5-6 years. But I come up years ago. We come to some horse shows when Bill used to have horse shows here, or cuttings.
Right.
And but we've been coming up for a few years, and they're just awesome people and very great hosts. And so we're just lucky that we're still on the invited list.
I'm sure it's kind of like an Airbnb. Do you have to kind of get on a calendar and see who's going at what times?
I think somebody has to die before you get in.
Yes. Grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the facilities up there, Russ. What do you guys have to work out of there?
We've got just a big indoor arena, and it's just a big indoor arena. I mean, they get a lot of snow here in the winter, so it's very enclosed. There's no windows. It's a little bit dark, but it's awesome pen. The ground's great. And, we get to ride our colts out and go gather cattle in the morning, a bunch of irrigated pastures. Bill keeps a bunch of yearlings here, and we can just go get whatever we need to work that morning and work our colts on. So we get a lot of time on our colts, outside of the arena. We get to go ride them out and just go camp on them. And I think that a week up here is like a month at home, in my opinion, of horse training, because the quality of the works is good. And
the weather's so much
weather's
cooler.
good, and you don't get one hot, or, it's nice. And, it's a beautiful spot, beautiful place, cool little town. So
drink a Topo Chico.
Yeah, but you got to be careful because you get a little you don't want to come up here and go to town and get drunk because it'll this altitude will knock you in the ground.
Yeah, there's no telling the tricks that Chava can get up to in that town.
Well, I don't know. He hasn't told me all his good stories yet, but I imagine we'll get around to it.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Brandon, it's got to be pretty fun for you. I mean, you've been coming here obviously in the past as a loper helper for your dad, turn back, but now that you're training more and doing more of your own training, what's it like for you to be able to come up there and experience all this?
Man, it's awesome. Like he said, like just getting to work here, and the cows are so good, and you don't hardly ever work a rerun. They get work one time and you never see them again, and getting to gather cows and jumping ditches and just grows these 3-year-olds up. But it's awesome, and getting to work alongside of both these guys, it's really good.
What are some of your favorite things to do with those colts outside the arena there? I mean, there's creeks, there's mountains, there's all kinds of things to go do on them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you can trail ride up in the mountains, and I mean, we've been gathering cows every morning, and you're riding them through creeks and jumping ditches and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This whole ranch is all a flood irrigated place, and so it's all irrigated, so there's water everywhere. So you're continuously crossing a creek of somewhere, a ditch or something. So they see a lot of different things they don't get to see at home. But then we can, last year we loaded up and went up in the mountains on a 6-hour trail ride. I don't know, 10 or 12 of us, Bill and Catherine and everybody. And we went up and just rode through the hill, took our colts, jumped in a stock trailer, went to the mountains and went and rode them. It was cool, but it's just, it's nice. It's nice because I brought 15 horses, but we brought 9 3-year-olds. I brought a couple of show horses. I brought a customer, a friend of mine, really good guy, and he came up with a couple of show horses. But it's so we probably aren't working, I don't know, maybe 20 horses between us all together, and so we don't start real early. We go gather at 8 o'clock, and we're done by noon, 1 o'clock, and put things up, and we just kind of. Brandon went fly fishing yesterday. We're going to do that again one day. But there's just a lot of little cool things. And the town is a very cool little town.
Yeah. And let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, obviously you're getting out of the heat in Texas here. Up here, the guys are starting, and just like you were before you came up there, but you're starting in the middle of the night basically to get as many horses work before it gets hot down here, before lunchtime. We had our first heat warning advisory, whatever, today. So that it's got to be like going up there and getting a breath of fresh air, and it's a vacation, but you're working, and and it's I guess a fun vacation up there. And how does this Chava, how does this help your young horses going up there, taking these colts, getting them out of the heat? Do they straight away feel that temperature difference? Can you feel a difference in them?
Oh my God, yes, right away. You could, I mean, the next day they're fresh, and
Yeah.
and Texas not even can make it walk. You know what I'm saying? No, the weather makes it then feel so good up here. So they grow up so much, like Russ said, and a week work. I mean, dude, I would say more than a month in Texas. You know what I'm saying? It is up there in Texas right now. Before I come up here, I was working fresh cows every day. But they were it's so hot, and it's not even can get a good works on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's very good for the young horses.
Yeah, and I guess even the cattle, they've got to last a little longer up there too. Not that you guys are having to rework very many, but it's got to help the cattle and allow you to get better quality works.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I mean, like they work all like a lot of native cattle here, but at least they're all heifers, and they work good. Especially, we just work them the one time, but it works out real well. And it's, but I mean, I think that just the colts being fresh, and heck, we dug out sheets and brought sheets with us. We haven't had a sheet on a horse since last winter. And so we brought sheets for them show horses and 3-year-olds. So it's just, but it's nice. But a lot of guys do a lot of this. I mean, I got good friends that will spend time in New Mexico, or they'll go to Bill Riddle's in New Mexico, or there's other places in New Mexico. It's all the same thing. I know there's some other places in Adon and all them. They go up to Carbondale to Tom Bailey's and work, and so it's all, a lot of them are all doing the same thing. And you just get your colts away and grow them up and spend a bunch of quality time on them. And like Brandon has a little. We loped a few of our own, spent some time on them. I settled cows on one the other day. So it's just this extra time to spend on them.
Yeah, and I think it's just a whole maturity process, like you guys both mentioned earlier, just these colts grow up so much just while they're up there. I mean, it's the time spent up there is multiplied 6 times, whatever. I mean, the time that you get down here on them. It's such an important part, I guess, with fall futurities right around the corner. I mean, do you feel like this is such a huge benefit then getting ready for these fall futurities?
Sure.
Oh, I think it is. I think it's, anything you can do to help yourself get ready. And because now, as you know, and we would talk, Chava and I were talking about the other day, the cuttings, the guys are getting so tough. The horses are so tough. I mean, the competition, from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, it's so much tougher. The guys are so much better. The horses are good. And you don't just have a handful of guys. You go to them small futurities, there's 50 guys that could beat you. And so if you can't, you've got to do everything you can to have yourself the best prepared you can, and your horse the best prepared to do good.
Yeah, I definitely think, like you said, if you can get that much more productivity out of your works by going up there or going anywhere where it's cool this time of year, it's got to give you a bit of an advantage going to those early futurities for sure.
Oh, I for sure think so. I mean, that's the one thing I miss the most on the West. We lived on the West Coast, is we had really good weather. And so we could work, all day long through, July, August, whatever. But the weather was huge.
Yeah, no, that's got to be a big thing. And it's not just physically, but it's mentally as well, not just for the horses, but for you guys too, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. So have
confidence.
Yeah. Well, and kind of a chance to kind of reset a little bit, I guess, up there. Brandon, what are you feeling in those colts when you're working them up there, coming out of the heat in Texas?
Like the first day or two, they've been a little fresh and a little playful right off the bat. And, like Chava said, they can barely get them to walk, at home. But no, it just feels like every day they keep getting a little better, and just really building that confidence and, trying to get that end product that we all want.
Yeah. What have you seen any wildlife up there? I know you said you did a little fishing. Did you get some trout?
Yeah, I got a few. I got two little baby ones the other day. I just fished right here at Bill's pond right here. I'd like to go stream fishing this week, but I haven't gotten around to it.
There you go. Any deer or bears or mountain lions up there? Or?
But we haven't been up where we could see them. There's a ski lodge about 20, 30 miles above us here, and we're going to go up one evening there. But I haven't seen any this time, but we have seen deer and elk down here in Bill's is irrigated meadows. More elk than deer, but they're around.
Yeah, yeah. Well, have you, does this process of going up there and working these colts, does it also maybe start help you decide what you're going to do with some of these colts that maybe you hadn't decided where you're going to show them yet? I mean, are you starting to see some of these colts kind of come on and say, well, you know what, maybe these will be ready for the early futurities?
Yes, sir. I agree. I think it helps us sort through our colts and figure out what we're going to for sure take to Fort Worth and then who's going to be ready for the early deals. And that's a tricky deal because you never know. You know, I showed a mare last year in the small futurities. Later on, I, sort of kicked myself. I did really well on her, but I kind of wish I'd had her for Fort Worth at the end. But it's, I think it does help you sort through them.
Yeah. Chava, with the money that's being up for grabs now at these small futurities, does that help you kind of, talk to your customers and make that decision to maybe not go to Fort Worth or go to some of the small futurities? I mean, you can win $60,000, $80,000 at these small futurities before November, if you've got a good one.
Yes, sir. Well, definitely we try to do some of that, suggestions and stuff, but, what I've been learning through the years, showing here in small futurities and trying to get ready for the futurity. Yes, you have to find that horse that tried the most early, and give you, that's the one that feels to me that gives you most chance to go do well. Sometimes the guy that owns that horse wants to show in the futurity, so there's a little bit,
negotiation.
Yeah, it's like you not always right what I suggest or somebody else suggests, but you try to do the best you can for the horse. And yes, it's very, very important that because we go and to Holland to those small opportunities, and I hate it, go show and come home with nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when I take the right one, makes you feel good. You get to the final, you do well, and that's good feeling, to have.
Well, and I think, and Brandon, you can probably relate to this, having shown quite a bit in the non-pro, but these colts that go to these small futurities and go through this whole show process early on like this, after the futurity in Fort Worth, when Abilene rolls around, or those other, those early 4-year-old Derby shows, it's got to make a difference on those colts that have been shown so much, even though Fort Worth, obviously those colts grow up so much there, but do you feel a difference in those colts that, go to those early Derby shows?
100%. And I think too, it helps your non-pros and your amateurs just because they've gotten so many good runs with the trainer and they've gotten solid, where versus sometimes, something gets a bad experience in Fort Worth and you have a wreck, and, if you have a, good solid, you go and show at a bunch of small futurities and do well, it's going to be a good solid horse for that non-pro, that amateur. And I think anymore, you've got to, if you want to do good at the small futurities, at least be in the top few, you better damn sure have a horse that you feel like you can, if you took a futurity in Fort Worth, you can make semis on it, at least to me. Anymore, as tough as the competition is, as good as the horses are, as good as the trainers are, as good as they are at showing, that's my mindset is, if I want to do good, like at the small futurities, I think I could make the semis on this horse at the futurity.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because there is so much money to be won at Fort Worth, but the competition, I mean, it's a pretty narrow funnel to get to that last final night. And
Pretty tough.
Yeah,
It's a big wall. It's a big wall to jump.
Well, this episode of Performance Horse Central is proudly brought to you by Mama Monica's new location, the Express on Tin Top, located on 4851 Tin Top Road. This is a brand new location, new store. You can go by there, you can eat there, or you can call ahead and you can order online or on the phone and drive right through with your rig. As you can see in the video, It's very convenient, and it makes it real easy when you're driving to or from Will Rogers or Brazos Bash or any other cut and you're going in the area. Just call ahead, swing on by, pull your truck and trailer through, grab it from the window, head on home, and bang, you're the best husband in town because your wife is going to be so happy eating that beautiful Italian food. So don't forget, Express on Tin Top now open from 10 o'clock to 5:30. All the best Italian food that you can eat. Check them out on their Facebook page or call them at 817-550-6009. Enjoy. Well, Chava, your program, I mean, you've trained a lot of horses and started a lot of horses that have gone on to be successful in other programs, and some of these small Futurity horses that you've shown ended up getting sold. I mean, your program is known for selling good horses with a good foundation that people have gone on with. Talk about some of the horses that are out there currently. I know Casey Green's got some. I mean, some of the horses that have come out of your program and gone through this process that are now doing good in other programs.
Well, just the horse that recently, the Kenny Platt, he just won Vegas. I don't even know his name, but I know
LBR Hingham.
LBR Hingham, but I used to call Chatty.
Chatty.
You know? Chatty, very good horse. Very good horse.
Yeah,
one of my favorite, you know. Michael Cooper's got one mare that's doing real good with it too, and the open stuff. You know, it's nice to see that. Very nice.
It's got to make
very
you
nice.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good and just make you work harder. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like out right here. I'm going to spend time with these guys. This guy, I told him this morning, and I said, I'm now trying to offend you, amigo, but I like the way you're working. You remind me of one guy, Ascension, you know. And so I told him, because that's what I feel, you know what I'm saying? And it's been a lot of fun right here and enjoying. And I never worked with Russ before. You know, I seen him all the time, but I never really enjoyed working horses together, you know. So it's a lot of fun.
Russ, how important is that? I mean, to you and Brandon, you too. I mean, working with other trainers, having them watch you work. I mean, maybe swapping out some horses here or there. Hey, here, you work this.
It's true. It's very important. It's great to bounce off other people. You respect their opinion and you say, hey, what do you see there? What do you think there? We were talking the first day I was here about this horse and that horse, and also like, you might say, well, I really like this horse and I think I want to show it to her. You say, well, he's a really nice horse, but that other horse got a better look. And you might give that one a second thought. You know, and I think that's real tricky. Not that I have a bunch of horses for the big fraternity. We brought 9 3-year-olds up here, and usually that's all I ever keep. I don't keep more than 8, 9, 10 at the most, just because I don't know. You can only show 2 and show a couple of small fraternities, and so that gives him 5, gives me 5, and you can sort through them. And but it's so important to have somebody you respect that you can ask their opinion.
Yeah, and it's, you know, pre-work is similar, but it's still busy. There's always a lot of guys, a lot of horses there. There's a lot going on. It's almost like a show. But what you guys are doing there, I mean, you've got time, like you said, you're starting later, you're getting done earlier, and you're taking your time on these colts and really focusing on these colts. Brandon, what's that like being for you? Just being able to sit and watch Chava and see what he's doing and work horses with him.
You know, it's been huge, just bouncing ideas off of him. Or even today, I had my dad work a couple of them that he hadn't worked in a while. I was like, hey, I want to watch them just to see what they look like, because, you know, I just want to see what they look like, because they might feel good or they might not feel good. I just want to see what it looks like. And it's no, but it's huge. I think you know, anytime you can get together and work with your peers and the people you respect, I think it's huge. Just
Yeah, I can only imagine, like, just the knowledge and just the little things that you don't even talk about, but that you're seeing and picking up and keeping in the back of your mind, and you might go try that when you get home and stuff like that. Russ, you're obviously coming off a big Super Stakes win. What we've got the summer spectacular coming up here in a few weeks. It's going to be here before you know it. Back to the grind, back to the heat. What are you doing to kind of prepare? I mean, obviously the 3-year-olds are the priority out there, but you got to keep the show horses going too. How do you balance that?
Well, I didn't. I brought 2 4-year-old mares up here that are pretty trained, but I actually brought them more for so my wife could get a little more comfortable with them, and she's going to show them both Derby. I didn't bring any 5-year-olds up here. They're just all being loped and stay really fit, and then I'll have roughly 9-10 days to work good cows on them and get them all ready for the Derby, and that's what we did last year and the years we passed, and it's worked fine. Just as long as they're really fit and they feel good, and I worked some good cows between those last week, 10 days, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you're going to come back with a fresh, outlook on everything. And those 5-6-year-olds, even though they're back in the heat, they're not getting worked every day. They're trained. I mean, you've proven that. Get a little break and sound, and they're going to be ready to go when you get back. So they're going to be a little fresh too.
Yeah, it'll be good. I've got one mare being off swam, and then all the others are just being loped at home, and so it'll be good.
Yeah. So Chava, let's talk a little bit about your program. You're closing in on $1 million. You're real close to crossing that big milestone. Not to put any pressure on you, but is that in the back of your mind going into these fall futurities? I mean, do you do anything?
Well, yeah. I realized what it was when I was show secretary, and they were trying to buy that horse, and then and I looked my earnings, there was like 300-something thousand. I say the only way I'm gonna get it there is if I don't sell this horse. I don't sell much of some of those horses. Those are the horses that get you sold. So it's very excited, Mark. When I moved up here in 2000, the last thing I was gonna be a horse owner, And looking here, I watched Russ. I watched a lot of guys showing him when I was work for Tom, and then that's when I started winning little money. That was my thing. I said, shit, I'm sorry I will say that, but I said hopefully one day get it to the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty close. 24,000, I think, is what I need, but I get it this year.
Nobody's counting.
Nobody's counting.
Nobody's counting. I think you just let it happen, and we'll let you know when you do it.
Exactly.
I'm sure Billy's keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, it's good. You ride horses too. It's good to have those things.
Goals. Gotta have goals.
Yeah, and then next thing, when I get it to that, my next goal that is win the Futurity one day.
There you go.
Or
maybe this is the year. You never know. Maybe this is
we'll fight every year. yeah. That's for sure. And that's and him too. Everybody's pushing to that, and so, and that's kind of where we're looking for. Work some horses and give it the best chances they. We've been getting trying to figure out every day little bit better, get better and stuff. And like Russ said, it is tough, and so you got to get yourself to get better and to figure out more, and move on, and on your training and your stuff, and just that way you stay competitive.
Well, the thing about cutting is, it's a team sport. Even though you've got the bridle reins and you're the one in control somewhat, so to speak, if you've got a good trained horse, but it's a team sport, but you've got to have a short memory because things can go really right and things can go really wrong, and it can be a matter of hours or days in between. And I think that's something that, you know, that all these guys like yourself that are approaching this million or have crossed the million, that's something they have in common. You've got to be able to, you know, let loose of some of that stuff and not let it weigh you down.
You know, that's and then it's kind of I'm sure Russ and Brandon that feel that when you win at your first 100,000, you really don't know nothing, you know. But I feel like when you start to win and get out there to the 700,000 stuff like that, I feel it happened to me, like my brain opens more and to be able to do some better things for the horses. And it's amazing what that, you know, it comes to, you know. And I never thought about it. And that's why I always say, I guess it's why they're keeping track how much that horse wants and how much that guy wants. And that is a reason. Whoever wins more, I think, is because it's a little more special.
Well, and it can change so much. I mean, I remember back in the day working for Phil Rapp, and we talked about, you know, Bill Freeman winning $5 million, and I'm thinking, man, nobody's ever going to win that much ever again. And now we've got guys that won double that, you know, and just with all the things going on in the industry, and there's more money out there, more shows, everything is growing, and so the potential is there. It's just never ending, you know, and I think it really opens up the door for a lot of different people in different areas.
Yeah, focus, good, and everything can be possible.
For sure.
Yeah.
Russ, are you doing any cooking up there, or are you letting Chava do the cooking? What are you guys doing?
You know, we haven't. We're going to cook tomorrow night. Chava's going to do a little cooking tomorrow night. We have just kind of went to some real nice restaurants and hung out, and actually we've been getting done early and kind of going to a late lunch, early dinner kind of deal. So that's been awesome. But we're going to cook tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're going to cook a little bit tomorrow.
What are you guys cooking?
Sir?
What are you guys cooking?
We're going to cook a ribeyes.
Nice.
You coming up?
I'd love to. Yeah, I'm kind of. I've got to go down to San Angelo for a cow horse show though. But yeah, I'll tell you what. Looking at that table, I reckon you just build a good fire and pull that table over the top of the fire and lay your steaks on there, and you can cook right off the top of that thing.
That'd be good. Hey, I'm just telling you, it's going to be like 2 inches thick. So I mean, it's going to be just fine.
Maybe we'll do another interview tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Or we're cooking.
Yeah, well, we're cooking.
Yeah, we might be able to add that to our PHC After Dark chapter.
There you go. Yeah. You might not be drinking Topo Chico.
little Topo Chico. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, guys, how long are you up there for? When do you head back to Texas?
We're going to leave probably around the first part of July, 2nd, maybe third for sure, but maybe 2nd, just kind of right in there. I mean, I think we've got a lot done on our colts already. And so, somewhere like that. And that gives me about 10 days to work at home before the Derby.
Yeah. Chava, what about you?
I think, I stayed to the 5th. Last year, I said that, and I keep going. But I got Derby. But I got everything when I should here, so I can go, you know, go show out there.
Well, looking at the place and looking at the surroundings and hearing everything about that place, I don't know why you'd want to come home any sooner than what you really had to, unless Bill will kick you out.
We were real hesitant to do this interview 1 week before we started it. We were talking about, I was gonna say, well, we just come up here, we work the flag and go trail ride because the cows aren't very good, you know, and it's kind of hot, and there's no good places to eat. You got to live in a camp trailer, and you're 40 miles from town. We were really going to make it sound a lot.
Every day. Yeah, rained every day.
Ourselves.
But luckily, Bill is, like I say, somebody almost has to die before somebody else gets invited.
That's pretty cool. But I bet that place is so worth it too. I mean, just everything you guys have talked about.
It's unreal. It's unreal. And I mean, Tom Bailey's place is awesome, and them guys have fun up there and stuff. I love this place because of the going in the pasture and riding and the beautiful little town. And, you know, like I've went and worked horses a lot of cool places over the years, but this is one of my favorites.
Brandon, have you had anything break into on you yet with the cooler weather up there?
No, I haven't yet. We still got.
Yeah, we got time. We got time.
Yeah, we still got a few days.
He about went down in an irrigation canal the other day there. He got the mud bog. Got a little, but
we're going to go right now with this interview finished. We're going to go move some 600 head of cows.
Okay.
Close to the
Nice. Bring the cows up for tomorrow, huh? You're going to work that many tomorrow?
well, we won't work all 600.
No.
We
No.
might work 50,
Yeah.
60,
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I think
50 a day.
50 a day.
Well, you guys enjoy your time up there. I'm glad you took the time to come sit down and talk with us and let us know about all the horrible things you're having to struggle through up there to make it work, you know, and make a living.
That sucks up here.
But we've all, I know where he came from and how hard he's worked to get where he is, and me the same. And so it's awesome to be able to get to enjoy some time like this. And for us, it's a little bit of a family, like Janet, Brandon. So we get to do some, you know, kind of, other people go on their family vacations. We come up here and it's kind of a working vacation.
Yeah, take your horses with you, and
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
perfect.
So real good.
Vacation and work.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's really
Yeah.
Cheers, and
Thanks.
enjoy the rest of your trip up there, and good luck with all the 3-year-olds, and can't wait to see you show some of those guys who are coming up with these 4 Futurities.
okay. Thanks, bud. Take care.
Thank
All
you.
right, you
Thank
bet. Good luck with
for
the
having-
Brandon. Make sure you take some pictures of those big trout you catch. And a little trick: if you hold them closer to the camera, they'll look bigger than what they are. You don't have to say baby trout.
I've learned that.
Enjoy, guys. See ya.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, bud.
See ya.
See ya.